is that IG banned the exact same, you know, apart from the Nocturne you mentioned, on this red side. So IG just sticking to what they hate, what they don't want to verse, instead of what is characteristically a good red side ban, at least what people or teams think in this meta. They go back on the Ezreal, they get their priority in the bottom lane, and once again we go to neny going on the Wukong as a very real possibility.
And it makes you wonder, just again, how much they practiced with him in the top lane. What champions is he comfortable on? Moving over to the side of Suning, with the Jinx locked in, you expect the Thresh to come out for similar reasons, right? Enabling this immobile hyper carry. I would like to see the Udyr come out from SofM. Again, still very strong pick in this meta. It's gonna give him a lot of kind of agency to, you know, look for duels early on. He's going to be able to clear his jungle extremely fast, impact the map, and still play a pivotal role later on in the game.
I can't wait to see what he builds. I remember last split when no one else was really looking at it, going for the Frostfire Gauntlet Udyr. Now a little bit more common than otherwise, considering that we have the chem tank nerfs. Yeah, now the most common, right? So not as exciting anymore, but we'll see what SofM does. Well, we do actually get the Rumble this time, Lyric, so we get a power pick that's still prevalent as ever, going towards Shun.
So IG are still kind of all-inning on like, hey, let's build a really strong team compositions in 5v5. They have set up for Rumble there with the Wukong ult and Engage coming out. You would expect also an Engage support coming out for Lucas, because you have Ezreal. He's safe to sit alone in that bottom lane, getting something that can be impactful with roams and at the same time empower Shun just seems like the play. To where I feel like Suning this time around are also going to opt into the same thing. The fact that you don't have the Nocturne this time, I'm going to assume you're not going to go towards that TF. It's probably going to be a lot more stock and standard of like, hey, we have a hyper carry this time around. Maybe it will be more of the Huanfeng show coming out, especially with the fact that you know, Rookie does have counter pick in that mid lane. It can be a rough experience if Angel goes towards something that, you know, isn't a safe blind pick.
I wonder if you start looking at something like the set then, right? Something that has been very popular in the 11.11 meta, where one of these solo laners just go one of those frontline tanks that can help give Huanfeng space.
It would be interesting. Again, it could be rough. It could open up for, again, just a lane bully mage coming out, abusing you with her range, but Angel also not the type of player that you think of on a lot of things. He did play set, you know, over the past 2 years, did play things like the Galio as well, neither of them being particularly meta. But for the side of IG, again, I would have loved to see an Engage support come out, but we get a Bard. Again, Hysterics. We're just getting a ton of things out from left field today. Again, it's going to have really interesting play patterns. We know Bard can do so much on the map. You do have that ultimate coming out, can potentially catch people out and find picks. But yeah, I want to see what the Suning response is. Once again, just going to go for the Twisted Fate, and again, going to put a lot of pressure on this rookie top laner who's filling in for the Shy.
So, attack the top lane, put Bin on something that maybe has a bit of agency, they're saying. Bin on the Jace as well would add a lot more range. And you're right, put pressure on the rookiest member of Invictus Gaming. And even if you go towards the Gnar, I mean, this should be a pretty fine time for Suning yet again.
Yeah, so Suning actually going to try and run back a similar strategy. And this time around, we were just talking about the Galio that Angel played before, not expecting to see it, but it coming out from Rookie. So this is their adaptation. This is their answer to the side lane plays that Suning have been making. It's like, hey, if you're going to send two men top, Rookie's going to be able to follow up. You're always going to have that ultimate from Lucas as well. If you're like, hey, you know, we can buy time, get more members to that fight and look for that. So again, I don't necessarily hate the drafts we've seen from IG in like context of these games, you know, like not talking about what's the best first pick, what's the best first rotation. I think both IG's drafts have had like very clear defining goals. And now Suning, once again, they're running the same strategy. We're going to see if they'll be able to pull it off better. We at least know that Angel will have an easier time in the laning phase. Again, those side lanes are just going to be a lot more of 2v2s and 3v3s rather than just straight up numbers advantages for Suning.
Such a common matchup. We used to see Galio, Twisted Fate. Lyric, what meta was it? Was it 2020 spring? Or was it 2019 summer where it was just Galio, Twisted Fate all the time? Where it was matching ulti for ulti and everybody piling on in.
I mean, sir, it was both. If you remember 2019 spring, like it wasn't 2019 summer, it wasn't super dominant, but we had it. Then going into 2020, both champions were there as well. And Angel, very prominent on both of them. We remember that he was one of the mid laners known for that, like, kind of overload one side of the map style back when Maple was on Suning. Rookie, though, I feel like fans might be sweating a little bit for IG, which, you know, you fall into that
Just the
category of like,
usual.
hey, Rookie isn't on a big damage dealer. Rookie is playing more of a team role, but again, maybe that's more of what IG needs. If they can't find the answers playing the way they did last game and they need to pivot, right, it's, you know, you go for it. This time around, though, I wonder if Suning will be able to pressure more in the bottom lane now that it's like, hey, you have a very squishy support in Bard. Bard's once again going to be moving around the map. Huanfeng should be able to find the same advantages that he did find in the last game.
On a Predator Galio, though, for Rookie. We'll talk about that as we go into the game. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, Suning running into game number 2 after what was a pretty exceptional victory. See if they can make it a clean 2-0 to start off the split, or if IG, with a change in composition, have a little bit more spice. We're back here for the LPL 2021 summer. The spritz is here, the love is here, and the crowd is packed out to kick us off here in Shanghai. As I know we can't hear the gyos, I'm assuming they're coming behind us, Lyric, and I need to pause. Galio with Predator's cool, but have you tried Thresh with Predator in the bottom lane? That's even cooler.
I gotta be honest, Hysterics, this isn't really something that I have seen all too much. Again, typically it's Guardian or Aftershock going into that bot lane. Not quite sure what On's thought process is. Again, you gotta assume that he wants to try and be matching the roams of Bard around the map. That's really the only way I could kind of justify this in my head of what he's going for with this. But I feel like you were fine with what you're doing last game of like, hey, again, you're gonna be strong in this 2v2. You can just kind of play and let Huanfeng potentially be this backup carry if he needs to be, if this side laning strat doesn't work out from the side of Suning. But yeah, I feel like we're going to see a lot of action around the top side.
Just the same as before, but maybe a little bit earlier. Waiting for that Destiny, waiting for that heroic entrance. Rookie getting a trade back, but Angel does have the range for now. And remember, Galio coming into 11.11, you know, the only change here, or the biggest one, is great death sentence in the bottom lane onto Wink. From On. Back to Galio was that, you know, Shield of Duran. Now, if it's support, we don't see it maxed. It's on a flat cooldown. Feels like there's incentive to max other things, even if you're a mid laner as well.
Yeah, and actually one thing, sorry to completely disregard your point, Hysterics,
Hey,
I love you, but we also see Shun going towards the going towards the Conqueror, which has become a lot more standard on Rumble as we've been seeing, but Angel actually might have to flash.
Time to use it. Match flash from Shun. He's overheated, but he's about to get those Electro Harpoons out. The first one connects. The Gale actually does too, as another Electro Harpoon. Angel running for his life, but the Justice Punch to nail down and get first blood for Invictus Gaming. They've spotted out SofM as well, and over the wall, he'll have to watch.
And in my mind, this actually might be a double crab for the side of IG. Actually, I'm wrong. Angel going to TP in, so they might be able to contest. SofM also might just run towards mid because TF did push. He can try to just secure that around bottom side because his bot lane is winning as well. We need to remember that Bin can be here first.
Yeah, SofM going to walk towards it. Shun's at full health, that's the difference. But remember, there's a red buff onto this Udyr. As neny trying to pivot, but Bin has the level advantage, threatening away now in the fog of war, but only drops a ward, and Shun just going to take away the scuttle after picking up the first blood before. And now on top of Bin, the new IG top laner forces the flash out after burning his own, and Bin has to back off.
Yeah, and he could really push this to its furthest extent. Oh, amazing death sentence.
Flash away. Wink is now ignited and hurting pretty badly. No summoners left on this AD carry. Lucas even had to burn one of his own.
Yeah, really nice hooks coming out from On this game, but again, going back to what we saw on topside, right? We eventually did see SofM default to what the safer play was, right? It's like, okay, Angel TP's back to mid, so you're going to keep your push in mid lane. Your bot lane's winning. Just go take that guaranteed scuttle on bot side. You really can't fight towards the top lane. And at the same time, neny was able to go for that play and kind of push it to its furthest extent and not worry about the trade back damage coming from Bin on the way out because Shun is topside, right? So Bin not really able to safely turn around and look for that kill, or he's just going to end up going down to the Rumble that is just right there.
And also the timing is crucial, right? When you know that Angel doesn't have the level 6 as well, you can make a play on top of that, not with the jungle pressure, great. But also knowing that Angel is not going to be there to follow suit and punish you from burning your flash first. So I do like the neny up in that top side, really showcasing the start of game number 2. But I want to talk more about the start of this game and how it's gone here, Lyric, because Shun has actually got the double amplifying tome. A lot of flat AP here, but we see that Rookie, because moving up for the roam, suffers in the 1v1, now behind a bit of CS himself.
And right, it's actually not too big of a deal in this matchup because you're looking to emphasize the strengths of your teammates, right? It's going to be all about Shun and Wink coming into this game in team fights. So he falls a little bit behind. He found agency on the map. He did get his jungler at least a little bit of an advantage with that kill. So I think it's fine for the play pattern coming into Galio versus TF. You walk up, you throw your Winds of War, you hit the wave with your passive, you walk away. It's, you know, very interactive gameplay. As shown.
As shown, perfect timing to watch it. We are close to level 6 in the mid lane, though, Lyric. Angel a little bit low, maybe influences his decision before backing, but Shun now going to be spotted out in a ward as well. I'm just looking at the EXP bar. Don't think Rookie is too close, but Angel now has Destiny. SofM is looking for camps doing the SofM thing, but Shun's already cleared there. The best he can get is to try and set up a dive if possible.
Yeah, and they're not going to go for it. I think if they did, it would have been extremely telegraphed, and the wave not even really in a place for Angel to impact the map, right? You could have potentially done it with just been TPing to the wave. You know SofM's already there. You know where Shun is on the bottom side of the map, but again, you would be giving up too much for the potential kill you can find on the Wukong. So I think good job by Suning not opting into that. And we actually might see some shenanigans around mid lane. Does look like SofM is just going to go for his recall. His camps are coming out bot side.
My God, On has not missed a hook, at least on camera. Maybe the cameraman's Suning bias and just showing all of them, but On has been great at landing these death sentences, as Shun could be in threat of one himself. Predator used on the Thresh. On now going to move very fast, gets the hook over the wall.
Oh!
The flash! Oh my God! On sets up though, but Rookie's here with heroic entrance. He dies, but that was freaking sick.
It looked absolutely amazing, but it did not work out. IG were able to get their members there first. Angel still pushing in the wave in mid. Both Lucas and Wink able to follow up. Again, one of the great things about Bard, right? You have your tunnel, you're able to get there easily. But yeah, kudos to On for having the cojones to do it.
The
as
cojones.
Angel doesn't have flash.
No, he could be dead here, Lyric. In fact, he is dead for sure. Shun comes in, cleans up yet another, and Invictus Gaming in this early game. 1,000 gold up in a very good position. And I just have to come back to it. Look, On, that may have been a bit of a bait, but that was still sick that you would go ahead and flash for the Dark Passage. Look at this.
Yeah, again, it looks amazing. Pay attention to the map, though, because we saw Wink and Lucas were already on their way, and even Rookie was hovering towards that side of the map. I think Angel was too afraid to walk up because, right, Shun can be there. And yeah, for IG, it's going much better this game. I want to say, hey, we already talked about it. IG, I think, have had pretty solid drafts if you're looking at, like, the series in a bubble. But, yeah, you know, I still feel like as an IG fan, no matter what advantage you get, you're not even at 1,000 yet. You still always got to be a little bit cautious of what's to come.
That's true. You got to make sure you keep your head on straight. A very fun start to this game. Definitely a bit more proactive than what we've seen as SofM is double leashing onto the blue Gromp right now. Lyric, I want to look more at Invictus Gaming's comp because Suning, we've already explained. We explained it last game. A lot on Huanfeng. We want to watch Angel's proactivity with Destiny, but I want you to line up Bard for me and how Bard comes through with the Galio ult, with the Rumble ulti as well. Is this just like a one ulti team that when it's down, it's very hard for Invictus Gaming to follow up?
Yeah, IG are definitely very ult-reliant when it comes to how they want to play out the game, right? I think especially when you're missing out on the Rumble and Wukong ult is when things can be a little bit dire because, like, okay, sure, you know, Tempered Fate, things like that, you can find picks, but you don't really have ways to lock down kills. But IG's comp has a lot of ways to find picks, as we see on our screen. Nice Lantern coming out from On, but... right, it has ways to find picks, as we just saw, but again, also has ways to win team fights where it's all about, you know, Rookie or neny going in, you find the CC, you drop the equalizer, Winks preferably in the backline, just throwing out some Mystic shots, and everything's good to go. The good thing is they have so much threat on Huanfeng from long range that I feel like it's going to be a really hard game for him to play. You really don't have the amount of peel that would be needed to play against IG's comp, which has both long-range pick and, like, close-range, like, brawling champions.
And what do you do when someone like Shun like this, right? Ults from afar with the Hextech Alternator, and Angel's at a quarter health, slowed down with the Cosmic Binding. Now we're going to find out, is the Bard as good as Rusty's as the knock comes up? And maybe we don't answer that question in this engage. neny picks up his first kill of the game. And Invictus Gaming, almost 2,000 gold ahead at 10 minutes in. Again, we continue to highlight them playing a much better early game and having so much more control with the tools at their advantage.
And it's really nice, right? Because you're just kind of seeing, like you're seeing Shun and Rookie like hover towards the bottom side of mid lane, which is putting pressure on Huanfeng and On because they can't walk forward because they have to feel threatened by that mid-jungle duo making their way down. And IG's bot lane are using that to rotate Lucas towards mid, which is making it so Angel can't safely walk up, push out his wave and move. So we're actually seeing IG use pressure really nicely. And from these two games, we're also realizing what IG will probably going to do off split with this Ezreal priority is like, hey,
yeah.
You know what? In AD carry, you can do whatever. You're just going to farm side lanes. You're going to go do your own thing. It's going to be all about the other 4 members of the team. And at least throughout this series, right? Rookie, Shun, and Lucas trying to link up, trying to make things happen. Rookie and Shun having, again, a decent performance in the first game. Rookie performing very well. And overall, it's all about pocket picks. LPL 2021
really
summer. All about what you want to play.
So far, so good, as neny's going to be diced on up in this top lane. First Cyclone against the wall with his clone as well, but Rookie's teleported in to heroic entrance in a melee range. True Shot Barrage flies through the Suning squad. As Rookie now Predator Missile, I guess that's a real Predator Missile. I like Call of Duty today, as he's still zoned out on the side of the brush. SofM waiting. Rookie now going to spot him out and run away. SofM chasing here, Justice Punch back in. Shielded Rand doesn't really get the taunt, and now neny has to be careful he doesn't get dove.
So the reason why we saw SofM feel all right to do that when he did is because if you look at the minimap, Shun did show on mid wave. He wanted to push that one in to try to pull Angel back there. Now Shun's able to walk up. They know they'll have numbers advantage on top side, so Suning actually aren't able to force anything. But what we've seen is this is the adaptation to what we saw before, right? This is why Rookie picked the Galio, so that Suning can't make those same plays they did in the last game.
As Rookie just kind of shattering around, making sure they learn from their mistakes, so I think is a really nice point from Invictus Gaming. neny gets the, what's her name? Shelly down, also known as a big scuttle crab, the mother of scuttle crabs.
Sad for IG because, right, you have Bard, you have the counter of Rift Heralds on your team. They were starting to roam Lucas up, but he didn't get there in time, so not going to be able to counteract that one. And we see that Suning are doing the same thing they did last game, just they're realizing even earlier that it's their way to win, is like, hey, we're going to index into our side lanes, we're going to play around bin, we're going to hover around this side. But the thing is, though, now you are on that timer, right? You didn't get the first dragon, IG are picking those ones up, nice Tempered Fate by Lucas, but guess what? In 10 minutes, at 23 minutes in this game, you're going to have to fight IG. There's no choice.
That Mountain Soul's going to be so devastating as well. Going over to the Wukong, going over to the Galio as well. We know have good HP as Angel teleports to the top side, trying to get proactivity in their favor. The flash away. Angel can't reach with the gold card. That is a flash though, but remember, Angel burnt his flash before getting caught out by the Tempered Fate. As On's now the next target. There's Huanfeng slowed on down. Good Dark Passage, but is On doomed to die. Overheating as Shun, he flashes in a straight line though with the box slowing him down. Huanfeng and On survive. They burn a summoner for summoner, but now they have to leave as SofM can't stop this devastating play.
You know, again, nothing's coming out of these hooks, but, and sure, Rumble might have just been right in front of him, but they're impressive as Bin does have flash, so he's fine.
Unlucky. Okay,
but,
survives out. Thought it was going to be worse.
We had a lot of potential action all over the map. Summoners forced on, you know, both sides over the last few minutes, but talking about summoners, going back to your last point about Angel, you know, having to blow his flash, we need to remember he does have Unsealed Spellbook, so can at least cycle through other summoners. We see him sitting on heal right now, as Bin once again the target, but remember, he does have flash up. I think his hop should be back up by now as well. So I think a little bit of a mistiming coming out from Rookie. Did, I think, lose, you know, a little bit of CS in the mid lane, but again, he's playing more for utility, he's playing more to influence the map.
Good little True Shot Barrage there onto Huanfeng. Not going to get the kill, but at least making sure that Wink will get first turret blood. So while the play fizzles out in the top lane, Lyric, at least Wink getting first turret blood here means the Ezreal's in a calmer position, a better position than game number one. A 20 CS lead with Divine Sunder picked up earlier than game one. But more importantly, the goal to go back, finish that Manamune, get the Manamune as early as possible, and get that 2-item Ezreal that's just been piloting solo queue and competitive play.
Yeah, again, he's already strong right now in Divine Sunder, but going to be even stronger in those items. Looking over at Huanfeng, though, he changed up his build from last game. We saw Kraken Slayer in Game 1, this time going for Gale Force, which I think is completely reasonable. Galio with Predator, Tempered Fate, a Wukong jumping at you, Equalizer coming out. There's a lot of things you need to get out of the way of if you want to be able to impact the game as this Jinx.
Yeah, I want to make sure as well. I think the biggest thing is like that equalizer that's going to burn you down every second in it. Getting out of it as soon as possible is going to be great. As speaking of the equalizer, speaking of the jungler of IG, Shun starting up this Rift Herald. Important to note that SofM is actually towards the bottom side right now, trying to invade, take away camps. He's a busy boy, but Invictus Gaming, with their other plans, they should be able to get this one for free. And it means that Suning are nowhere to be found.
Well, the thing is, Suning understand their comp and their win condition. They understand they need to be playing towards the opposite side of the map than IG. Right now, they're trying to defend. I think they should be fine on this front, but Suning at least understanding their win condition, this time around, it's just going to be much harder. IG have a gold lead. IG are 2 dragons up. They're sitting on that Herald. I feel like even item breakpoint-wise, they're a lot happier. It's like, hey, you have gold on your members that are going to be impactful. You don't have gold on your Galio. You know, Rookie's the only one who has not finished that Mythic yet.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we also see, speaking of Mythics, the Frostfire Gauntlet coming out onto SofM. We talked about how that one's a lot more common than it was before. We see both teams posturing, but I don't expect anything to happen. I've been wrong before, though, Jake.
Yeah, look, in a game like this, anything could happen at any time, but they will get the first turret towards the mid lane, I should say, but the third turret of their game. Invictus Gaming, 2 turrets up for the time being. The gold lead still stands there, and while we continue to talk about Mythics, just note that everyone on the map bar supports at this point with a Mythic. Angel backing away should have the Everfrost. He's already got the majority of the components, and we'll just see if he has enough gold.
Hysterics, he's going to have enough gold. He's going to come back on the map. We're going to see Everfrost come out. Dragon up in 30 seconds. We do see that IG on the map first, so should be able to push out mid-wave. The only one not here is Shun, but for some reason, Wink picking up Raptors. Just want to get as much gold as he can, but yeah, it looks like that Suning still aren't contesting. They are waiting for, you know, the soul fight to come where they're going to try and contest IG. So IG once again going to get another free dragon. Suning going to get a bit of an injection of gold. They have vision down on top side, so if someone like Rookie walks in as he's doing now, maybe they can find a pick to try to turn that into more.
I just love repeating what you did in game number 1 as Suning bring Bin, Angel together straight away. You're right, contesting over the soul is going to be the game plan here for Suning as they're all towards the top side. We'll look for the inner turret, get more control of these side lanes that we highlighted being one of their best plays in the first game too. As Dragon goes down, expect that timer to come back up, start counting for Invictus Gaming to see if they can get it this time around. But I think more importantly as well, around that time, we also look at things like Baron. We also look at where the side lanes are, and if Suning can kind of draw them into a false lull.
The thing is, it's going to be much harder this time around just because, as we pointed out, you not only have Rookie able to fall up on a side lane, but one thing we hit on about last game was like that 3v3 that Suning can try to opt into. This time around, it's much harder because Wink is actually ahead, as we see on
Equalizer, flash over the wall. Only just, though, Lyric. I mean, on almost going down. Huanfeng now here as well. Cosmic Binding doesn't connect as SofM is straight on top of Wink. The zap, nor does that land as well. The Tempered Fate flushed away from. Every Tempered Fate has required a flash as IG across multiple parts of the map just looking for Suning to walk into their lair.
This is why the dynamic's different than last game, because you were able to try to index into the 2v2 and then the 3v3, but Wink is ahead. Wink's at 2 items. Huanfeng's still only sitting on 1. This time around as well, you don't have a Nocturne, you have an Udyr. He's going to run at you. Sure, he does have some speed, but the Tempered Fate is there. Ezreal's very mobile. Rumble should have an easy time getting away as well, as long as he's flash up. So I don't feel like Suning's comp has the same amount of like tools to punish what IG have picked up this time around, especially with the fact that Huanfeng got very accelerated last game because of what happened bot lane. Wink was a non-factor. Bin was accelerated last game, still is this time around, but with all the other factors, you're just not able to pressure the map in the same way.
I would say as well that, like, the worst part about Udyr that we've always known is that he's so telegraphed, right? Like, he just, you know he's running towards you. Without flash, you know he goes forward or back. And it's always been a bit of a pain for the Udyr players. But I think bringing this back on topic and bringing this back to a really important point, 3 minutes until the Dragon Soul comes up for Invictus Gaming, but by then, we should have those second items coming through. We should see Wink with 2.5 items as well. We should see Rookie, who's probably going to end up nuking people. But I think that Rumble from Shun is going to be looking towards the Hextech Alternator as a common second item. Something that will blow up people like Huanfeng, people like Angel, before they get a chance to move.
Yeah, IG... Again, they have all the options in the world. When you're thinking about what Stooning can do to try to answer, they can try to all in on a side lane once again while Rookie is showing on the top side of the map. The hard thing about that is then you're potentially giving over Baron. Both your soul laners do have TP, so if you are able to go down and kill neny, you can then at least teleport back up towards the top side, have a numbers advantage. But I feel like your only other options are like cheeky brush plays, right? You push out mid lane, you camp in a bush, you pop the Destiny, try to find someone who's out of position. But League of Legends, still a decently snowbally game. The team that is ahead, the team that can control the waves, has all the cards.
Here we go again. Flash away immediately, and Brookie's like, brother, don't worry. I'll help you out. He teleports in just in case. Well, Invictus Gaming are going to look for this inner turret. They know no one from Sooning's there, but look, this is a bit of a race. The problem is you're racing against a Jinx and a Gnar, while Rookie's caught on out here by SofM and Angel. neny's come back into it, but there's a numbers disadvantage. Flash over the wall, neny's already burnt his. Cyclone comes out once, and the second time will not be needed. Invictus Gaming pull off the inner turret and are trying to collapse.
Yeah, I don't really like how IG played out these last few sequences, right? First of all, I don't feel like Rookie had to TP. Again, that one can be a bit of a hindsight call, right? But neny had flash, used it almost instantly. Then you're walking back into the jungle while the rest of your team is taking top turret. You know Sooning are in that quadrant of the jungle. Just a lot of questionable decisions coming out from IG. I feel like even their 3 men that were hitting the top turret probably should have just rotated mid, just try to gain pressure. You're not going to be able to take that. You're not going to be able to go for a race, as you stated. Just play out the map in a neutral position until the Drake comes up. Try and get some wards down on the bottom quadrant of the map, and then just take the 5v5 where you know Sooning haven't wanted to opt into all game.
It's been these decisions that have perplexed me for both Game 1 and Game 2, right? We saw similar where Sooning were obviously in a better position.
You mean for the past 2 years, right?
Oh, okay, sorry, the past 2 years. IG have perplexed me since 2020 or 2019 Worlds. That's right. What a mystery this team is. Well, we're going to see if that mystery evolves to a new level. 30 seconds till Dragon, folks. 1k gold lead is all that separates these two teams. Blighting Jewel, all that was picked up by Shun in the end. But we do have the makings of a Serelda's Grudge for Wink, which is a very powerful item, but more armor shredding, especially while Bin is just shredding down the top lane turret with, again, a slow answer from IG.
This is really interesting because you typically don't see this, right? The team that is fighting against Soul feels threatened to go into it. They realize, hey, we don't want to go for that. While they're doing Dragon, we're either going to try to take top turret, we're going to try to pull them off that, and they're still indexing into their strengths. Typically, you would just see the team be like, hey, we got to fight for Soul, we're going to run down there, we're going to look for it. But Sooning...
they're going to go in. Cerelia's Edge was just used onto SofM. Jungler down. I mean, they've just thrown it back on them, Lyric, and Sooning now had 30 seconds to wait and try and keep these objectives within arm's reach.
The thing is, though, at least you can empathize with their decision-making, right? Like you can understand, like, how they were viewing the game, reviewing that situation to where it's like, hey, you know, we're going to try to take this top turret, maybe try to get more items on Jinx, maybe turn it into a Baron, where then either they're doing Dragon, we could try to rush that down. Like, they're the team in a pressured position. They're the team with the worst cards. They tried to make the best out of it. They weren't able to, and it's just very fitting that our first series of LPL, we're most likely going to go to 3 games.
Yeah, most likely, because there's the Soul in hand. Now, people will be laughing that SofM walked over a ward. Remember that Bin was behind him as well, so was going to leave that one to him. But at the very least, sitting at the next tier of brush and thinking that, you know, if IG were mid, not going to collapse at the end of the day for SofM, that hurts quite a lot. But I think more importantly, IG finally making decisions to stop all of that nonsense happening in the side lanes where they're slow to react. So it is a good move. It is something that works out very nicely in the end. And for Invictus Gaming now having the Soul, we start talking about the Elder that'll be coming up in 5 minutes, the potential of Baron, that Suning currently have vision control around. But remember, IG, we talked about their ultimates, Lyric. It's the hero's entrance. It's the equalizer. So much zone control that's great around these neutrals.
Yeah, and, you know, IG should now be in a position where they can even start trying to force, like, Baron base and try to pull Suning into a fight where they know they feel strong in a 5v5. A little bit surprised that we see Rookie going with the Oblivion Orb against the team comp that Suning have drafted. I would have expected maybe something like a Void Staff coming out. But, you know, we've seen weirder itemization in the LPL.
True.
IG, though, they're going to do exactly what we said. They're going to control topside, and they're going to try to force a fight at Baron.
But there's cheeky wards both in and outside of the pit. While, look, Bin and Angel have linked up once again. Rookie's going to back away. And this is not a fast Baron. You're running an Ezreal here, and SofM is trying to slow it on down. Destiny being used as well. Which way are they going to go? As onto neny could actually be the question mark, as SofM has been caught out here. The equalizer there, the Tempered Fate doesn't connect, but that's 2 ultis down. Destiny was used to get back into the lane onto the Wukong, who now has no Cyclone. Bin and Angel stick in this side lane. IG back on the Baron for round 2.
We need to remember that their Baron isn't that fast. They've Rumble in the jungle, Galio mid lane, and in Ezreal, not a ton of DPS coming out. They are getting it down, but maybe what they want more is to fight. But Lucas and Shun
on the middle of the pit. TP comes in through there. Smite comes down. It's IG who's secure, but low health bars all around. Rookie flashes away. That's actually Lucas in the end. Shield of Duran onto SofM was close with the Predator, but Suning are following this one up. This is so dangerous. Bin's there as well. Flash over the wall. IG. Everyone's going to get knocked against the wall. The hero's entrance, better late than ever. But Rookie over the wall has to carry this fight as a triple flay. It might be all they need. But Suning are getting outranged here. And Invictus Gaming actually turn it all the way back around. 3 dead. SofM running for his life. And Invictus Gaming will be happy about that trade.
And we see they're still trying to get down these last few kills. They get the Baron. They get everything they were looking for. Suning tried to find the angle. They had SofM wrapped around, but it's very hard for them to get on top of the champions that IG has. We did see Wink get hit by Gold Card. Was able to use his cleanse, was able to use his E, his flash, get away, and like you said, then kind of use some of these range tools to take the fight. And now this is just going to lead to full map control for the side of IG. I doubt they'll be able to close it before Elder comes up. So I feel like as Suning at this point, you're hoping for the best burger flip of your life with that Elder.
Yeah, absolutely you are. Well, watch again, because IG was so damn low. I felt like with Bin's ulti, Suning could really turn this around.
Flay into hook. We see the cleanse come out. Like you said, the ulti comes down, but he's really alone. The other members can't safely walk forward. None of them are that tanky. There is damage on the side of IG. You'd be running into a Wukong and a Rumble. Even for SofM, he's half HP. Like, Suning were just in a very awkward position. Maybe they could have done it right. You potentially just all in, follow Bin in. I feel like following one call is better than, like, splitting on your call. But ultimately, it was a game they were already losing, right?
And now continue to fall further and further behind. Inner turret goes down. 4k gold lead at 28 minutes into the game in Invictus Gaming. Look at the range that they can push this turret at. Death Sentence, this one not going to connect as that cannon minion doing so much work. Wink's going to help it out just a little bit as well. Next wave coming in, and Baron buff is still there by the looks of it for 50 seconds as that equalizer zones out Huanfeng. Thank God he got the Gale Force this time, Lyric. But Inhibitor still in so much trouble, and Suning themselves are dealing with this big Ezreal. Wink is massive, and IG are playing off of it.
I mean, right, Hysterics, the coffin's already in the ground at this point. Right now it's like the ceremony for the funeral of this game. So Suning trying to hold on, trying to, you know, at least make this hurt for IG. Maybe find a pick with that death sentence, but realistically, pretty done and dusted, my friend.
Well, a slow burn at that as well, right? You know, with IG, it's never over until the Nexus is down. So yeah, I have every right to be skeptical, but Wink is hitting everything here. Misses on as I say that. Gale Force there as well. And then suddenly neny joins the fight. Hero's entrance doesn't crash down on anyone, but ladies and gentlemen, in our first series back in the split, Invictus Gaming, bring it all back. Have a great early game and say it's time for our first series, our first game, number 3.
And it's really cool, the fact that we have best of threes in the LPL, right? Because then you get to see adaptations like this in draft, where it's like, hey, soon you're going to run with a similar comp. How are IG going to change it up? They do it. They bring in the Galio. We see Lucas bring out the Bard. And speaking of the Galio and the Bard, I feel like Rookie and Lucas were the two most impactful players in the game. I'm not sure if he ended with it, but before that Nexus push, Rookie had 100% kill participation, was the only one on the team with that, consistently moving, utilizing his pressure on the Galio. You highlighted a few times where it's like, hey, he's moving and losing CS. Maybe there were some moments where, again, potentially was unrealistic, like when Bin was close to his tower, had flash and hop, but overall, this man was doing so much work. Lucas as well, again, was involved in a lot of plays, did have some pretty sick tempered fates, forced out some flashes, and overall, IG, like, they knew what they were doing. They realized the strengths of their comp. They at least realized what Suning's comp wanted to do and how to counteract it this time around.
And it was good to see that adaptation. I think from neny especially, after what game one was. I mean, he was, looked like, okay, let's be realistic. It was better because Rookie was on top of him all the time. Like, every single time Suning tried to bully this top laner, Rookie teleports, Rookie ultimates. Rookie was his best friend and his buddy in that second game. So I think Rookie knew his role so well and wanted to make sure that Suning were never getting that advantage like they did in the first game by, you know, shooting down that lane.
And it also comes to a discussion of, right, do you all in on your, like, strength or best players, or reinforce, like, a weakness, or, you know, in this case, like, a new player coming into the roster, making him feel more comfortable? I don't feel like that was it entirely, right? Because, again, it was also just kind of counteracting what Suning's champions wanted to do. But I feel like that does open up a larger discussion, not only for IG in this series, but kind of going forward with how they want to use this player up in the top lane. And for Suning, now it's going to be about, like, hey, what deviations do we see in the next game? Because, heck, we didn't even really expect to see this comp once we saw the Udyr come out. The Jinx first pick, I think, was something that threw us off a little bit, and it feels like there's a lot that Suning can still try and do differently in terms of, like, hey, okay, well, we got one win with this comp. Second time didn't work out. We didn't have the same tools. We didn't have that Nocturne, which was pretty pivotal, in my opinion, in that first game. Now I feel like you go with a different flavor.
Yeah, I wonder how they changed it up in the third game. Again, it doesn't feel like side selection really changed the way that pick and ban went. You know, game one and game two was like, well, we get our priority, you get yours. Wukong, Ezreal for IG. We look at the Jinx again, you know, the Thresh there, where On had an amazing play. Amazing hook. That I don't care if he died for that. That was just sick. So it is nice to see the flavors coming out. I think that has been your keyword, will be my keyword by the end of the day as well. Suning versus IG giving us a lot of that said flavor. We're going to go to a break. When we return, game number 3 to round out this series. You want